And welcome back to another installment of Asagao Academy, Normal Boots Club, the Satchbag route. I'm your host, Sensei Pong. Now, it's actually been a while since I last recorded, so I'll just assume you remember what happened. And, by the way, my voice is doing a little bit better now that the Flonase has actually started working and all sorts of stuff, and it's working like magic, so allergies isn't bothering me as bad as it was. So, that's good. Anywho, let's carry on. If I remember correctly, we just got done being tutored by Satch. Because I'm reading it right now, and it says, I returned to my room that evening, awash in a happy peacefulness I hadn't felt in years. For the first time, I felt like I belonged somewhere with people I could trust. For the first time, I had a sense of freedom. From here, I could be anything I wanted to be. I just had to discover my dream. Aww. Be all that you can be. How do you do that? I don't know. Who am I? I pushed open the door, expecting to find Mai, waiting to pour questions down my throat. But to my surprise, the room was empty. A book sat open on her desk, some pencils next to it. She must have gone to the bathroom or something. I glanced over the book on her desk, unable to hide my curiosity about what she was doing. I'm sorry. My voice is jarring to Baby. Baby woke up. Vroom. My heart stopped. This book. Das Kapital by Karl Marx. I knew it. My father warned me, despite being Stalin. I lifted one of the covers to peer at the spine. A history of seduction. Okay. That's weird. By Sigmund Freud. No, he never actually wrote that. I've read some Freud. He doesn't, as far as I remember from his bibliography, he doesn't have any books about the art of seduction. This was one of the books that were missing at the library. Why would that be in the library at a high school? No. That shouldn't be in a high school library. What was Mai doing with it? Do we really want to know? That didn't make any sense. Someone must have brought it over and left it there. Who would leave that there? There was no way Mai would. Hana, you're back! Or, oh, Hana, you're back! Ah! I jumped nearly a foot into the air, suddenly eye to eye with Mai. Then I crossed my backpack and opened it, packing my notes away as if nothing happened.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you okay? Mm-hmm. I nodded, my face on fire. Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. Hot damn! Did you and Satch make out or something? Mai, of course not. We just studied well. Very well.
Really?
Studied biology. That's a stupid joke. Yes, we studied biology together. What was that like? We dissected things. He had a vial of Ebola. It was scary. Only scary because I knew what it was. Really? Is that all? She gave me this stink eye, and I began to alphabetize my notes. Yep, totally. Ah, man. What's the point of living through if you're not going to give me all the juicy details? Ha! Sorry to disappoint you, but I can't give details that don't exist. She crossed her arms grumpily. If you say so. As she turned away, her eyes fell across the book on her desk. She started, but smoothly crossed over it, closed it, and put it in her desk drawer. Well, if you're not going to reveal your secrets, I'm going to bed. She sniffed haughtily. Oh, my sinuses. I shouldn't have done that. Freaking allergies. I should get ready too. I'll shower first. Ah, man. I'm all stinky. I quickly grabbed my shower things and towel, put on some flip-flops, and was out the door. Only then was I able to breathe normally with dots. I should hurry, or Mai would get even more suspicious. It didn't take long that night for Mai to fall asleep. As her snores filled the air, I quietly tiptoed out of bed and headed to her desk. She slept on the top bunk facing outwards. If I made any noise, that's starting to tickle. It's tickling the back of my throat. She'd definitely wake up and see me going through her stuff. This was a huge breach of her privacy. But then, did she really deserve to keep her privacy if she was stealing library books and putting Satch in danger? I hovered over her desk. Suddenly, I couldn't remember which drawer she put that book in. The obvious choice was a locked drawer. But if she locked it when I tried to open it, she'd probably hear it. Where should I look? Oh, oh, oh snap. Well, what's going to be the quietest? I don't have a choice in the matter. I probably wouldn't be rifling through her stuff when she's actually there, asleep. That just seems like a bad idea. So our choices are obviously rifle through the regular drawers, poke through her backpack, or try the locked drawer. I'm trying to go for the quietest approach here. I'm going to say backpack, but the backpack has a zipper. But we don't know that for sure. If it's a Velcro backpack, that's terrible. I've never heard of a Velcro backpack. But, you know, maybe it's one of those drawstring ones. Let's hope for that because the drawers might squeak and might have others. I'm going to go through the backpack. I went to the side of her desk and unzipped her backpack. It has a zipper. It was possible that after I left to go shower, she shoved the book in there, fully intending to take it back to the library the next day. If that was true, then there was nothing to worry about. Mai was definitely still a trustworthy person. I shuffled through the papers in her backpack. Even in the dim moonlight, I could make out the clippings of Jared modeling various sizes of styles of swimsuits. Creepy. If I thought he was pretty in real life, these were almost unbearable. In the back of her pack was a thick pile of papers, bound by a hardcover. I pulled it out and examined it. It wasn't the book I was looking for, or a library book for that matter. In fact, it looked like a handmade book? Was Mai writing something? Mai gave out a loud snore, and I jumped, nearly dropping what I was holding. Heart pounding, I quickly returned it to its proper place, set things back to about what I thought they were before I started messing around, and slowly crawled back into bed. It didn't matter that she hadn't actually woken up, at least, as far as I could tell. My heart pounded as though she came after me with a knife. It took me forever to fall asleep. The guilt I felt for snooping around through May's things made a terrible bedfellow, and as I woke up that morning, May was holding a knife over my face. No, that morning I got up nearly an hour before I usually did. I hardly got any sleep that night, so there was no point in laying in bed staring at the ceiling. I thought I was on the bottom bunk. That was what I told myself as quickly as I quickly dressed, grabbed my bag, and ran outside. I told myself that, but I knew deep down it was a lie. I didn't want to talk to Mai. I didn't even want to look at her. I didn't know that I could, not without giving something away. I didn't know which was worse, that I broke her trust, or that now I knew she was probably guilty. With a stack of books in her locker and the one on her desk, what other conclusion was I supposed to come to? How could she do this to Satch? After all he did for us? I walked around campus, kicking the early morning dew out of the grass. More importantly, what was I going to do about it? Should I tell Satch? Should I tell May? Was it even any of my business anymore? Mai had kleptomania, an illness. I didn't know what that really meant or what she was struggling with. I could easily just describe she was a bad person, that she cared more about herself than about the fact that she was hurting Satch. But Mai shown me over the past 2 months who she was as a person. I knew better than to assume she was doing this out of spite. I should give her the benefit of the doubt. At the very least, she deserved that from me.
Good morning.
Hana.
What's going on?
What are you doing here so early? I need to go buy some knitting needles, bye. Oh. I sprinted in the opposite direction, paying no heed to where I was going.
Hana.
Hana, wait! Satch's voice faded in the direction of distance as I ran, and ran, and ran. By the time I stopped, I reached the field. I collapsed to the ground. I hate exercise. I glanced up in the sky. The sun was peeking over the tops of the trees in the distance. There was no way I was getting to class on time, not after running all the way here. Sighing, I made my way back to the school. There goes Hana Mizuno, smooth operator. That's why. Miss Shizuka paused. As I, bedraggled, stepped into the classroom. I hesitated in the doorway, waiting to be interrogated. To my surprise, she just gave me a sad kind of smile and nodded at my seat. Oh. I quickly sat, marveling at the ease with which I escaped a burning at the stake. Something was definitely up with Miss Shizuka, but what? Thankfully, considering class was already in session and I only narrowly avoided trouble, Mai didn't question me about my whereabouts. I was about to finish class without locking eyes with her in a single time. At lunch, I headed straight to the library and began pulling out books. I wanted facts, straight-up facts, about what kleptomania was and how it affected people. Internet access was severely restricted at Asagao, as if we all had parents who thought the internet was filled with pedophiles, catfishers, and porn, so books were only a means of figuring things out. As I sifted through thick books on the table, a sick feeling hit my stomach. Impulse control disorder, often accompanying depression or obsessive-compulsive disorder, a way of managing emotional stress or anxiety. Sufferers often do not wish to steal and will steal the same types of items repeatedly, oftentimes of little value to the owner, such as pens, paper clips, and erasers. Sufferers should learn their triggers and how to avoid the stress and anxiety that provokes these impulses. Feels intense guilt and shame, are often unable to tell friends and family. Can have large periods of regression without theft. May give away stolen items to charity, friends or family, or even return the items to their original place. Don't often use what they steal, as the thefts are not driven by necessity but by an emotional high. Feel as if they can't control their behavior, often having difficulty maintaining intimate relationships out of fear of shame. It didn't seem to be a disorder with much concrete information on it, as those with it often didn't tell their doctors they had it. As such, at least in the books I was reading, there was hardly anything about how to approach a loved one suffering from such a disorder. One thing stood out to me, though. May didn't necessarily want to be stealing things. She felt guilty. She felt ashamed. And thinking back to when she told me about her kleptomania, she was terrified, absolutely terrified that I wouldn't accept her, that I would no longer want to be her friend, that I would vilify her. Yes, Satch was in trouble because of what Mai was doing, but that didn't make Mai a bad person. This was her fault. This was her responsibility. But someone could do bad things and still be a good person. And Mai... Feng Shui, sing Feng Shui. You call yourselves friends? Friends? I can't believe you. Any of you. I thought you were better than this.
You're my best friend.
I just want you to think this through. I don't like seeing people take advantage of my friends. People I care about. Well, it's okay. We're all cowards sometimes. Mai was not a bad person. I returned to class without having eaten and found a seaweed-wrapped rice ball waiting for me. As I sat down, I looked around for who put it there. Mai grinned at me. Patat. Knowing what I did about her, how was I going to confront her? I didn't want to make her feel bad, but what she was doing wasn't right. Could I just go up to her and accuse her, or... Miss Shizuka came into the room, practically floating on her feet. Class, sometimes miracles do happen. Sometimes you find what you want in exactly the place you least expected. At the time you finally decide to stop looking. Looks are important, but personality is what gives humans life, depth, meaning. Learn from my example. ... Please take 10 minutes and doodle in a color in your notebooks. I'll be doing the same. Okay. We're back in kindergarten. Mai leaned over to me. She's definitely getting laid. Mai! No, she's right. Let her be. That's uncomfortable. Good job, Teach. You made the classroom uncomfortable. ... Yeah. Nobody wants to hear about their teacher's personal life. Definitely going into that kind of detail. That's a need-to-know basis. I opened my notebook and instead of doodling, started scrawling out different potential combos for Dumbadoom's revenge. There was only a week and some change until a tournament next Saturday. I spent so much time worrying about Satch and the books that I hardly practiced at all. Now that I knew who did it, it was time to catch up. I spent half that time wondering what to do about Mai and half strategizing. Before I knew it, the bell rang. Miss Shizuka stood and closed her notebook, which was covered in red and pink hearts, stick figures holding hands and hugging, and Mrs. Shizuka, something... Yeah. Ta-ta, my lovelies. She skipped out of the room, happy as a bunny with a carrot. Well, it's good that she's happy. Yeah. Where were you this morning and at lunch? Meeting up with Satch again? No, of course not. And with that, I'm going to say this is actually a pretty decent point to cut off, only because we might be getting into a conversation about Mai's kleptomania in the library books. Bump the mic. Yeah. Sorry. Anyways, so, that might happen. We don't know. We'll have to see. Until next time, Sensei Pong signing out. Lack of